Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining in this video. So I had a few requests on my messenger regarding, the karma of Jupiter in all the 12 signs as to what Jupiter will do by his presence in different houses of the horoscope. Okay. So Jupiter is regarded as the most benefic planet as per Parashara in his Brahat Parashara Hora Shastra. And even Western astrology considers Jupiter as the most generous as well as beneficent planet. Okay. And Jupiter stands for it gives a fair idea about the nature, the firmness, and the principles of a person by its location in the natal chart. Okay. And Jupiter is where God sits. The placement of Jupiter is where God sits in the horoscope. And Jupiter serves as our guide along the entire path of life, pointing out the truth that we must follow. Okay. So Jupiter is the planet of, is the planet of divine providence. Okay. It serves as an indicator of external creative energy or external creative activity. And by the placement of Jupiter, you can also get a fair idea of your children, the number of children, gender, health, and also the relationships that they will have with you. And Jupiter is also a planet that endows you with the ability to express yourself, which can manifest itself in a variety of areas. Okay. Now, Jupiter is very open and generous, and he promotes growth in every stage of life, in every stage of development that brings great joy to the native. Okay. Jupiter is also deterministic of our inner growth. It indicates our spiritual mission, and it also symbolizes the joy of life and good spirits. Okay. It is the planet of optimism that allows us to see the positive side in everything. And it is also the planet that helps us overcome the sorrow and melancholy brought about by Saturn. Okay. So this is overall, this is the planet of good luck, of mercy, of favor, and prosperity. And depending on its location in different houses, in the different 12 houses of the horoscope, it can certainly bring different results. Okay. So as I said, depending on the location, Jupiter will give different results to the owner of the horoscope. So what happens if Jupiter is placed in the first house? So this is the best position for Jupiter to be in because it gets Digbala in the first house. And it is believed that, this position of Jupiter in the first house protects a person from thousands of other maladies that are there in the horoscope. Jupiter in the first house protects you from other harmful combinations in the chart because it expands itself in all the areas. Okay, it makes the person very smart, wise, confident, generous, kind, optimistic, and lucky. And this person usually has enough of everything and does not complain about life. Okay, and in life he behaves like a real guru or a teacher. Okay, such a person always loves to advise others and loves to raise children. Okay, this is a good placement to have if you are a teacher, because as a teacher you will often receive awards, respect, fame, reputation for for your services. Okay, even others will speak to you with respect. And now except Leo ascendant, okay, this is an exception because for Leo ascendant Jupiter is also the 8th lord. So except Leo ascendant, Jupiter in the first house protects a person from accidents and gives good health and longevity. Okay, but then these people, they may become overweight after middle age. Okay. Now not only in the first house, even the placement of Jupiter in one of the Kendra houses, that means the first, the fourth, the seventh, and the 10th, in its own sign of Sagittarius or Pisces, or in the sign of exaltation of Cancer, will often produce a harmonious physique, good health, intelligence, honor, success, and glory. Okay. And if you have Jupiter in the first house, it ensures that you are a very smart, kind, noble, healthy person who is also very famous in the society. Okay. Now, if Jupiter is placed with malefics or retrograde planets, then it gets damaged even if it is placed in the first house. Okay. And if damaged, then a person tries to show himself or herself as someone who is omnipotent, who wants to look more spiritual than he really is. And, it also brings about family problems, diseases of the liver, kidneys, diabetes, alcoholism, as well as obesity. Okay. Then we have Jupiter in the second house. So the second house, as we know, is the house of money and family, as well as speech. So Jupiter has an encouraging influence on the family and also causes, and also blesses the native with financial well-being. And the native has a very, high moral compass. And if difficulties arise, then, such a person becomes even more stronger. Okay. These people, they are very lucky with money because they usually get money whenever they need it. And these people, they can speak very calmly, logically as well as pragmatically. Okay. Jupiter makes these people very caring towards the family. These people usually have a very good spouse and kids. And if Mercury is aspecting this Jupiter, then it gives financial difficulties because Mercury is an enemy of Jupiter. And similarly, if Jupiter is damaged by other malefics, then the person can be very lethargic, lazy, glutton. And it also gives the possibility of thyroid disease because the second house also represents the throat in medical astrology. Okay. Third house, Jupiter, not a very good placement for Jupiter to be in because this is known as the Marankaran Sthan of Jupiter. Okay. So this situation can give financial difficulties as well as it can bring humiliation. All right. Such a person is prone to infectious diseases, fevers, and digestive diseases. And, if you have Jupiter in the third house, you need to be really careful when transit Jupiter moves through the 6th, 8th, and 12th houses, because then health will really deteriorate during this period. Okay. Now, Jupiter in the third house will give good results only when it is favorably placed in its own sign. Okay. So this is a good position for writers as well as programmers and journalists. And usually for a native having Jupiter in the third house, the younger siblings will be more successful than the native. And also the native will get necessary support from the younger siblings. Okay. Now, Jupiter in the fourth house. So this makes a person very happy, intelligent, as well as wealthy. Okay. Fourth house Jupiter usually gives very good results unless it happens in the sign of Capricorn. Okay. And, this person will always own movable as well as immovable property. And he or she will have a good relationship with the family. Okay. Such people usually don't leave their native places in search of other opportunities or in search of better opportunities. They usually want to live in their native place. And over a period of time, if they stay put in their native place, they can become more successful. And these favorable results are further enhanced if Jupiter is in its own sign. Okay, if Jupiter is in Cancer, or if Jupiter is in conjunction with Moon or Venus. Okay. Now, if Jupiter gets weak or it becomes debilitated, then it can cause a person to leave his native place in search of work and financial opportunities. All right. If Jupiter is placed alone in the fourth house, especially in its own sign or in Cancer, then it can give a lot of happiness from inheritance. Okay. And Jupiter in the fourth house, as I said, it brings wisdom, happiness, wealth, property, luxury, good relations with relatives. And if damaged, that means if Jupiter is afflicted or if Jupiter is debilitated, in that case, the native may have a problem with children, with chest as well as heart diseases. Okay. Then Jupiter in the fifth house. So this placement of Jupiter gives high intelligence and good education. The person is really very kind, caring, and respected, as well as spiritual. Okay. So Jupiter is the Karaka for children. Fifth house is also the Karaka is the house for children. So, a fruitful Jupiter in a fruitful house will be busy only creating children. And as a result, this Jupiter does not have time to engage in other types of creativity. All right. So this is a placement where a native can have more, more male children as compared to female children. And if the fifth house is ruled by Cancer, where Jupiter is exalted, then such a person will have more daughters. Okay, but then there is an exception to this rule. If Jupiter is in its own sign, then it can become difficult for such a person to have children. Okay, and even if he or she has children, over time the relationship can become difficult with them. Okay, so if Jupiter is in its own house in the fifth house, then it is, many astrologers consider this as not a very good position for children. And if Jupiter is damaged due to affliction or due to debilitation, then it can give diseases of the digestive as well as liver, digestive organs as well as liver. Okay, it can also cause problems with the husband. Okay. Now Jupiter in the sixth house, again, not a very good placement for Jupiter to be in, because it makes one very lazy and sluggish as well as unhappy. Okay, and if this is happening for a male, in that case, it brings some amount of predisposition to bad habits. Okay, such a person is often exposed to diseases, especially if Jupiter is in conjunction with Rahu, or if Jupiter is in Aquarius or Capricorn. Okay, and this is the house of maternal uncle as well as maternal relatives. So these people, they do not have good relationships with maternal uncles and aunts. Okay, however, they are lucky with their subordinates, as they work with honesty under them. And this is also a placement where people can defeat enemies. Okay, and such people have a great love for animals, especially for pets, and they keep them at home. And if Jupiter rules an auspicious house, then placement of Jupiter in the sixth house will give bad results for in those houses. Okay, similarly, if Jupiter is damaged or if Jupiter is afflicted, then such a person may have conflicts with teachers and subordinates. Similarly, if a female is having this position, it can bring a lot of problems with husbands. Okay, again, if Jupiter is in the sixth house, it can give you liver disease as well as neoplasms of internal organs. Okay, now Jupiter in the seventh house. So these people usually have a very intelligent, handsome, or beautiful, kind, devoted spouse with whom there will be a happy married life. But then you have to see that since Jupiter in the first house gets Digbala, in the seventh house, it gets Dikshunya. Okay, so it can make a person less successful than their spouse. Okay, and it can make a person very egoistic due to knowledge, because Jupiter from the seventh aspects the first house. Okay, and what happens usually is, Jupiter in the seventh house can give a difficult childhood. Okay, but then these people usually become very successful towards the later part of life. Okay, now Jupiter in the eighth house. Now again, this is not a very auspicious position for Jupiter, as this position can damage your longevity. Jupiter, there is a theory that Jupiter damages the house where it sits. So if Jupiter is placed in the eighth house, it can cause health problems that may have an impact on your longevity. Okay, and it can make a person go through many problems, financial difficulties, humiliations, and failures. And such a person finds it very difficult to rise to a high position in the society unless Jupiter is aspected by Mars. Okay, and these people usually have to work in subordinate positions to others, and they don't usually get the necessary support as well as recognition from the society. Okay, but then on the positive side, these people can be good researchers or teachers of arcane knowledge. Okay, and if it is happening for a female, then such a woman can receive wealth through her husband's family or from inheritance from relatives. Okay, however, it is not a position that promotes marital harmony. Okay, because sometimes Jupiter in the eighth house gives connection with prostitutes. Okay, now the good thing about Jupiter in the eighth is that you can usually die without suffering. Okay, and this is also true when Jupiter is moving through the eighth house. So when transit Jupiter moves through the eighth house, a person can usually die without suffering. Okay, and just like in the sixth house, again, if Jupiter rules a Kendra or a Trikona but is placed in the eighth house, then that Kendra or Trikona will be affected. Okay, But then Jupiter in the 8th house gives interest in occult as well as other esoteric affairs. It usually does not give negative results if it is in its own sign of, Cancer or Sagittarius. So if it is in its own sign of Pisces and Sagittarius, or in the exaltation sign of Cancer. Okay. Now Jupiter in the 9th house. So this is one of the best placements for Jupiter to be in after the first house. And the 9th house, of course, represents academic institutions, or or the place where enlightened teachers are located. Okay. So with this placement, a person easily receives higher proficiency, you know following the right path of dharma, satisfaction, and good luck. And there are usually no major problems in their life. And these people, they have noble kids and grandchildren, and they usually concentrate on obtaining higher proficiency, lives according to the commandments, and gives understanding to their students. Okay. Such a person is very spiritual, kind, and wants to help everyone. And you know such a person often treats his or her educators and elders with great admiration, as a result of which he or she also earns a lot of respect from the society. Okay. So these people, they are very good team players, and managers can trust such people. So what happens is, management often chooses such people for key positions. Okay. And you know the environment of a person who has Jupiter in the 9th house, the people in the environment of such a person, they perceive him or her as an educator. Okay. And until the end of life, they will remain spiritual individuals. Okay. Such a Jupiter also furnishes success and longevity to the father. Now, if Jupiter is afflicted by malefics, then such a person can become a very impracticable religious fanatic. Okay. Jupiter in the 10th house. So this is again a very good place for Jupiter to be in. 10th house Jupiter allows the person to earn money from whatever he or she does. Okay. And success comes step by step. And these people, they often occupy high positions where their counsels play a decisive role. Okay. It can be the role of a teacher or director of an educational institution, advisor, educator, or a teacher. Okay. And these people, they have a rapid growth in their career if the if the Mahadasha of Jupiter comes at an active age. And they are not only capable of giving good advice, they're also good organizers. Okay. And they usually receive, wealth, property, fame, as well as reputation. Now, if Jupiter is in its own sign or is in exaltation, then these indicators of wealth, property, fame, reputation, they get further enhanced. Okay. Now, if Jupiter is in the 11th house, okay, so this is again very good for Jupiter, because it makes a very lucky person who will never become poor. Okay. One way or the other, money will come to such a person. And these people, they get everything very easily. Okay. Even if these people are born in a poor environment, they usually have enough of everything. And they manage to find good friends. Okay. Jupiter in the 11th house gives wealth with very little effort. Okay, this is the house of wishes, and Jupiter, being the most benefic planet, tries, to fulfill all the wishes of the native. Okay, Jupiter, this person is usually very healthy, very lucky, and will find countless opportunities to make wealth. Okay, Jupiter in the 11th house also promotes good health. Okay. And but then, on the flip side, Jupiter in the 11th house is not good for children, because either children are not born, or there are some physical problems with children for those who have Jupiter in the 11th house. Okay. Jupiter in the 12th house, so this is not considered to be a good position for Jupiter. But then, these are people who are very soft hearted. They are people who cannot say no whenever someone requests them for help. Okay. These people, they usually face legal entanglements, problems with enemies, isolation, exile, and other troubles. Now, Jupiter can also send such natives on long trips where a person wanders aimlessly, or where a person faces trouble in foreign land. They can become victims of thieves. And also, Jupiter here gives a lot of unnecessary expenses and painful illnesses. Now, if Jupiter is favorable, then such a person becomes very kind, merciful, And if it is happening for a woman, then the husband of that woman will be very kind and spiritual. Now, these people are very actively involved in charity, and they help the sick, the elderly, children, and other helpless people. Okay. As I said, this person and this position is very good for charity. But then, even if you do a lot of charity work due to Jupiter in the 12th, you may not receive enough gratitude from your from those people whom you benefit. Okay. And usually it gives careers in hospitals, prisons, orphanages, and other people and other places, sorry, where the sick and helpless are located. Okay. Jupiter in the 12th house is not good for children because it can give issues with childlessness as well as death of children in the womb. All right. So this was my assessment of Jupiter in all the 12 houses of the horoscope. Do let me know in the comments section if you agree with this assessment. Your feedback, of course, is very, very important to me. Okay. And if you want a consultation regarding your chart or your horoscope, kindly reach out to me at the number which is given in the description box. Okay. So that's it from me in this video. I'll see you soon in another video. Namaste. Om Gurave Namaha.